My wife ran into one of our old colleagues the other day, a guy named Ted Kaufman. Remember him? Sure we do. Ted was the interim senator here for 2 years. He succeeded Joe Biden and held down that slot for 2 years until Senator Chris Coons was elected on his own not that long ago. One of the things that I loved about Ted, he would every month he would come to the floor, and he would talk about a different federal employee. And sometimes I've heard our colleagues, I hear other people talk about federal employees or state and local employees as nameless, faceless bureaucrats, and in a derisive way, unflattering, uncomplimentary, and I suspect dispiriting. And the folks who serve in federal government or state and local government do so usually not because it pays a lot of money, because they get huge bouquets and a lot of credit. They just want to do something constructive with their lives. But Ted used to do that every month when he'd come to the floor. Sort of, this is like a shout out to him because I heard about a fellow in Delaware who's decided to step down after a great career, public service. And I want to take just a few minutes, if I could, to talk about him. The person I have in mind today is the fellow who is stepping down as the director of our Delaware Division of Parks and Recreation. His name's Charles A. Salkin, and we call him Chazz, C-H-A-Z-Z, Chazz. And he was appointed director of the division a couple months before I became governor. He was appointed in June 1 of 1992. He continued to serve with distinction in that capacity, leading the Division of Parks and Recreations for the 8 years that I served as governor. And then he went on to serve for 2 other governors after me. So he served a Republican governor, Mike Castle, before me, in the Democratic administration. And so we're a total of 4 governors. That doesn't happen every day in every state. And when you get those kinds of opportunities, it must mean you're pretty good. In his case, he was very good. But he's now retiring from the post after more than 35 years of service to the people of our state. And for over 3 decades, he's been a tremendous leader and a real advocate for the educational, for the mental, for the physical benefits of state parks. He's also a devoted husband to his wife of 40 years, a woman named Sue, who's very accomplished in her own right. And she's just recently retired as deputy director of the Delaware Division of the Arts. They have a daughter, Emily, who's now, I believe, grown, and so they kind of interesting to see where they pull up their anchors and sail off into the sunrise. But for Chazz and Sue, we thank them both for great service to the people of our state, and wish them and Emily well. Their hard work and creativity and dedication are going to be missed a whole lot, and we'll remember for many years the many contributions that they've made. But since 1978, Chazz has played an active role in the expansion and the preservation of Delaware's open space areas and the development of programs that introduce Delawareans and visitors of all ages to the historical and recreational benefits of our state parks. And as he steps down from the position as director of Delaware Division of Parks and Recreation, we give him our sincere thanks, and we want to thank his staff too for their diligent and long-standing efforts to maintain a reputation as having one of the most dynamic and innovative park systems in the nation. Throughout his career, Chazz has been a visionary whose creativity and forward thinking have changed the very nature of our state park systems. From the institution of zip lines to kayak rentals, Chazz has done a tremendous job of inspiring a love of nature and just about all Delawareans. He's played an important role in securing Delaware's footprint in the national park system with the recent naming of the first state national monument. Delaware was the first state to ratify the Constitution. William Penn came to America through Delaware. One of the oldest houses in all of North America is in Lewis, Delaware, sort of a byproduct of the early Dutch settlement some 375 years ago. We're the first state to ratify the Constitution. We've done a lot of firsts in a little state, but we don't have a national park. And we've been working on it for a number of years, and Chazz and now Chris Coons and John Carney over in the House have taken up the mantle. We have a first state national monument. We're grateful for that. Thank you, Mr. President, Vice President Biden. Still knocking on the door for a national park, and Chazz and his people have been terrific laborers with us in that effort. But Chazz's research, his professional leadership, his personal membership in all kinds of organizations like the National Association of State Park Directors and the National Association of State Outdoor Recreation Liaison Officers have also supported Delaware's natural resources and emphasized our state parks' value to Delaware's financial successes. Places like Oregon, Senator Merkley and presiding officer from Ohio, Senator Collins, who's still on the floor, all your states have wonderful national parks. And as it turns out, the top destination, the top tourist destination for people who come to the United States from other countries is our national parks. And we don't have one in Delaware. We want one. But in the meantime, our state parks have sort of filled the gap, and we have some state parks we're real proud of. And one of the guys who's worked very hard to make them something we can be proud of is Chazz Salkin. He has undoubtedly left a legacy of achievement, persistence, and passion with the members of the Parks and Recreation team that have included hundreds of people over the age of 35, people that have included hundreds of people over the past 35 years. We in the state of Delaware are truly grateful for everything Chazz has done to protect and preserve our state's beauty and history. On behalf of Senator Chris Coons, my colleague here, our colleague here in the Senate, on behalf of John Carney, our lone congressman over in the House, and we wholeheartedly thank Chazz for 35 years of service to the state of Delaware. His model leadership, his dedication has improved the quality of life for residents and for visitors who come to our state from all over the world. And we offer our sincere congratulations and a job well done. We wish him and Sue and their family many happy and successful years to come. We struggle at the federal government to pay for things. We struggle at state level to have the revenues to pay for the kinds of services that our citizens want. One of the things I especially admired in the work done by Chazz Salkin is a growing reliance over time to invite people, could be young people, could be older people, could be retired, maybe not, could be students, could be senior citizens, but people who would like to volunteer some of their time to help in our national parks. And it'd be interesting to be able to look at the number of volunteer hours that we've amassed or been amassed over the years in service in our national parks and compare that on a per capita basis to the rest of the country. But I think we probably stack up pretty well. In a day and age when we want to stretch every dollar for as far as we can, one of the things we've done in our state, in no small part because of Chazz's leadership, is to invite volunteers to come in, to help out, to make our parks better than they ever were before, and to benefit from that by feeling they've helped us to accomplish something really good for now and for a long time into the future.